even some women, they're giving up the ability to even have a family to go where they want to go. And like, when you get there, is it everything you think it's going to be?
Yeah.
Because you gave up a lot to get there, and you can't get back that time. And no matter how much money you pay me, I cannot buy time.
Welcome to the Prosper Brief. Today we're joined by Rae George, Senior Manager of Supply Chain at ARCOP, who leads distribution for over 3,400 Arby's locations. From managing crisis to balancing work and family, Rae's journey is a testament to leadership, resilience, and meaningful success. Let's dive in.
Hi, welcome to this episode of the Prosper Brief, a show dedicated to elevating food service and hospitality. I'm your host, Justine Job. And today we are fortunate enough to have Rae George. Now let me get this title right. Senior Manager of Supply Chain Distribution Management at ARCOP.
Correct.
Welcome.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So obviously I think what throws us off the bat is tell us about your job, your title, and ARCOP. We were talking in the back room and we're saying, now, do you work for Inspire? Do you work for Arby's? Who are you working for?
It's confusing, but I work for ARCOP.
Okay.
And so ARCOP is a supply chain co-op for Arby's.
Okay.
Right? And Arby's is under the umbrella of Inspire. Right? So ultimately, I work for ARCOP, which is a separate entity from Arby's.
Okay.
And it's very important that we represent both the company restaurants and the franchisee restaurants.
Okay,
equally.
so you're doing it
Yes.
both.
Yeah, so
because
we're in the
some
middle
other
as
people don't, right? They'll like separate.
Yes.
Corporate has their division. Okay,
Yes.
but you guys are doing it for
we
both.
work equally for both.
Amazing.
And we're a separate entity so that we can be fair.
Okay, so give me maybe a day-to-day. So like today, I mean, I have another question to follow up, but today we are here actually at the Prosper Leadership Retreat at Inspire.
Yes.
Luckily, just a couple floors down.
Yes.
But I noticed you were working a little bit, so it's like, give us a day in the life. You were putting out some fires today. Maybe you can touch on that, or just an overall day in the life.
Well, the cool thing about distribution is that it isn't a day-to-day.
Okay.
It is different
Fair enough.
every single day. And right now we're in hurricane season, right? And we just had 2 back-to-back hurricanes, Hurricane Helene and then Hurricane Milton.
Yes.
In 2 weeks
Yes.
in Florida. So we had up to 100 restaurants closed, and our distribution center was in the hurricane's path.
Okay.
So, and our fresh bread supplier was in the hurricane's path.
Okay.
So now everybody's getting back online, and of course the restaurants are busy because people don't have power.
Okay.
And they
So
don't,
people are coming to the
So
restaurants.
they have to go to the restaurant, and the
Okay.
restaurants are like super busy, and they need product. So yeah, we had to make it happen.
Okay, so
we're
tell me
working
your
through
fire
it.
today. Like,
Well, we had to have our hurricane call. So we have all the above store leaders on the call, trying to help them manage through this difficult time, when they're going to get their deliveries. If they're not, how are they going to make it happen? Are we going to get couriers? Are we going to do some drops? What are we going to do? How are we going to get them product?
wow. So what did you guys end up deciding?
Well, it's
In
constant.
process.
Yeah, it's always constant and changing. Like, people are coming back online, restaurants are opening, things are changing. So we just have to constantly keep up.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So in a natural disaster, are you almost on call?
Yes, I am. I will be working tomorrow. Yes, I will be.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not
There's
know
only
that.
there's 3 of us in distribution, myself and Larry, who's the 2024 Prosper Accelerator.
Okay.
And we have a 3rd person, but he's actually on paternity leave.
Okay.
So it's just Larry and I who manage the entire
And
distribution.
Larry's here, correct?
Yes,
okay,
he's
so
the
you guys were
2024
working
Prosper.
together
Yes.
today,
So we had to
putting
duck
out fires.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's just us that manages the entire distribution network for 3,400 restaurants.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So tomorrow, what do you have to do?
I'm going to have to update the fields and the above store
And
leaders
keep
on what is
keep
going on.
everything coming.
Yeah, so they can figure out how they're going to open their stores, how they're going to get product to their stores. I mean, what's the point of having a restaurant? You have no product.
Right.
You can.
Wow.
Yeah, it means nothing.
Right.
You can't open your doors.
Wow. It's interesting because I was actually in the medical field for a little bit. And one of the things I liked least was that I was on call 24/7 of like if someone broke their hip, we'd have to go in and do an implant. I never would have thought, it's so good that you're opening our eyes to you're on call. You have to get that product.
Yeah. Everybody has to eat.
Everyone's got to eat.
Everybody has to eat.
Yes.
That's the thing about the restaurant
As
business.
David Job says, we employ everyone and everyone's got to eat.
Yeah, we feed everyone.
Okay.
Yes.
So speaking of which, how did you give us a little career journey or background on how you
Okay.
got to your position today?
Actually, I wasn't in food service at all.
Okay.
After college, I ended up in transportation and logistics, working
Okay.
for ABF Freight. And I worked there for several years, and then I transitioned into transit.
Okay.
So for many years, I
So
worked.
what did you major in? Are you just
majored in
amazing at
marketing.
logistics? No.
and minored in
Marketing.
mathematics.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in logistics and transportation. Then I transitioned over to transit. I never thought I'd be in transit, which is similar to the restaurant industry because you're dealing with people.
Okay.
And it's quite interesting.
And
So-
people are unpredictable.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And so I worked initially I was a director of marketing and customer relations, like
Okay.
rebranding the transit systems.
Okay.
Making sure, updating schedules and all the information on the websites and connecting people and
Okay.
giving them information. And then I transitioned to operations, and I was the director of operations for a while. And then I became an AGM, and I ran two
Okay.
transit systems here in the greater Atlanta area. So
Amazing.
at one point I ran Cobb Community Transit, and then I switched over and ran Gwinnett County Transit and also Georgia Regional Transit Authority.
Okay.
Yes.
So now what would you say in those jobs, what skill sets did it prepare you for food service hospitality?
Well, leadership.
Okay.
Because at one time I was managing
Okay.
over 160 people. And just
160.
making things happen. And
Oh
every
my.
day is different in transit,
Did you give them your cell phone number or did you try? Maybe that's why you're always on call.
Yeah, it just
Don't give out that
always
number, girl.
Always something going on. Every single day was different, the same as the restaurant industry. And
Okay.
so a recruiter found me and talked me into coming to food service. And when I interviewed with my VP, I told him, I said, I don't have any
Right.
experience in food service. And he said, I don't need you to have experience in food service. I
Okay.
can teach you that. But what
Okay.
I cannot teach you is being a leader,
Wow.
being bold, and some of the characteristics that you have. Those are not teachable.
Right.
But I can teach you food service. And he did.
Wow. And so was your first job at ARCOP in food
Yes.
service?
Yes.
Okay. And now
Yeah.
how long have you been there?
7 years.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a
And I
really-
like food service, so I'm going to stay in food service.
Okay, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah, what are you thinking, if any, of a career aspiration? Sometimes we like where we're at.
Yes.
We just want to really dive in,
Yes.
succeed.
We
I'm
like-
good with
I
that
like where I
too.
am, but I definitely, I'm open to opportunities. And we talked about this a little bit
Yep.
earlier about being at Prosper, and I've been a part of Prosper for the last 3 years.
Thank you.
And talk to a lot of people, right? And have some wonderful mentors.
Yes.
And just with my conversations with so many CEOs and business owners and people at the top,
Yep.
the biggest thing that I've gotten out of it
We can tell them, girl.
is
Give
that I
them the
don't want to
truth.
be there.
Yes.
I don't want to be.
Okay,
the
unpopular
CEO.
opinion, or at least
Unpopular
let
opinion.
us say it
Yes.
out loud. Maybe we
Yes.
don't want to go to the top.
I don't, because, and it's not because I don't feel like that's something I can do. It's that there was consistently one factor that every single one of them mentioned, and it was the sacrifice of time.
Yes.
And time with family and just time to live life. And
Okay.
I don't want to sacrifice that.
So what are the messages that you've received regarding a sacrifice of time? So are you telling me when you hear these CEOs speak, you kind of come off stage of you have to get in that role, you have to give everything, your whole
You'll
life,
have-
all
yeah.
your time.
Yeah, you're giving up maybe the opportunity to be a room parent or
Right.
to make it to all of your kids' events.
Does everyone know what a
or-
room parent is?
Exactly.
Please share with our listeners.
Because they don't know.
I
to
highly
go to
doubt our
my-
male listeners know what a room parent
Well,
is.
the room mom, she helps out with all the little treats, and then organizes all the little class
Yep.
parties and all the little dumb things.
Yes.
But the amazing things that are big memories for your child.
Yes.
Right? And when I come to the school and maybe I'm like the secret reader, like I see how excited my son is. Like he just loves that.
Yes.
And I'm not willing to give that up.
Yes.
I'm not willing to give up. Even some women, you know, they're giving up the ability to even have a family to go where they want to go. And like when you get there, is it everything you think it's going to be?
Yeah.
Because you gave up a lot to get there, and you can't get back that time. And no matter how much money you pay me, I cannot buy time.
Right. You know, it's so interesting you say that, because I remember, so I come from the tech industry. I worked at a company called SAP Concur. And everyone in Seattle, Washington was working at Amazon. And I went on a reward trip, and one of the spouse was working at Amazon. So I'm like, you know, you guys want to have kids, right? She's like, yeah, you know, we really aren't, we want kids, but we're not going to have kids because our career ambitions don't allow for children.
Wow.
And I was so floored
Yeah.
of like, I hadn't heard that from like a peer.
Yeah.
I think you hear women or people in high positions that have chosen not to have children, and it almost just kind of fell that way. But to meet someone similar age as us, actually planning not to.
Yeah. But the worst part about it is
kinda-
planning not to, not because you don't want children, but
Correct.
because you can't if you want to aspire to be who you want to be. And for me, I don't aspire to be that person if that's what I have to give up.
Right.
not
So
worth it.
I think you know this about me, but I have 4 children.
Yes, I do.
Yes. So
You look amazing.
I know.
Having more children.
Well,
Like,
thank
okay.
you. But I know the room mom, the, you know, going into school, reading them a book, the
Yeah.
birthdays at school. And it is very scary as a woman with 4 young children of how am I going to pull
How am
this
I going to
off?
make this happen? Yeah.
So
But it's
how
important
do you
that you
it?
do because they're watching you.
Yes.
You know, they're watching you.
Yes.
And
Well, it's like we talked about that too,
Yeah.
actually, prior to the podcast of like, you never know what you're going to want. And like for me, I did not want to be a stay-at-home mom.
oh no,
I couldn't,
that's not for me.
but not
Yeah.
for me. So it's like, you know,
Yeah.
give us some life advice or,
Well, I aspire to have balance.
okay.
I want to do well in life, but not at the cost
Yes.
of time and building my family
Yes.
and building up my child.
Yes.
So I have to find balance, and I am decisive in the fact that I'm not willing to give it up.
Yes.
So
Well, you're passionate.
Yes.
You're unforgiving,
yes.
which is fantastic.
Yes.
And I actually think,
I'm unapologetic about it.
yes. And
Yes.
so do you have good boundaries, or is it
Well, I'm learning that now because this
Okay.
is something that I really actually just learned through Prosper over the last few years.
Okay.
You know, I thought, you know, especially here at Prosper, and everybody's like, yeah,
I know.
they're wonderful, they're doing great, and it's super
And
inspiring.
it's like more.
Yeah, but then, like, I sat back and I'm like, and I love these people.
Yeah.
Because this is like my Prosper family.
Yes.
And I like, it's like
Well,
cheers.
you are our golden star, to
It's
be
like
honest.
cheers here. Like,
If
everybody
anyone-
knows your
we'll
name.
get to that story in a sec, but she is our golden star. She is our, you know, our shining light for the program and the reason the program was created, and really our beacon of, you know, be like Rae.
No.
So we
but-
talk about you on every call, my dad.
That's so sweet.
Between you
I love
and
David.
Mookie.
Hattie. Oh, I love Nikki too. That's somebody who's become a good friend of mine.
Yes.
Like, I've met wonderful friends through Prosper. Like,
Okay, I didn't mean to
wonderful
derail the
friends.
thought though, of like, so continue what you were saying.
Yeah. So I'm just working on making sure that I have balance, and that's a part of my career goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is your work-life balance? Because you said you were on call 24/7.
Yeah, well, but we're not always in a
So how
situation
do
where we're
you-
having natural
right.
disasters.
Good
You know
point.
what I mean? So there is some times that I'm going to have to say, oh, I have to back up from that.
Yeah.
But because I make it a priority to be a part of my child's life and a part
Yes.
of my family's life,
Yes.
when I do have to back out a couple times, it's no big deal.
Yep.
But when that's your regular,
Yeah.
then there becomes some sort of resentment between yourself and your family. Like, where are
Yes.
you at? You know? So
Yes.
here and there, no big deal. But always, it's
Yeah.
a no for me.
I'm not going to lie, when I came to this industry in February, that was the biggest adjustment for me of like really being on a lot.
Yeah.
I love it. I get the passion and the relationships, and there's now today I wake up and I'm excited. But before, when I was in tech, it was better boundaries of like, no, I'll work at 8 a.m. and I'm done at 4, or these are like very black and white.
Yeah.
Obviously, David did not appreciate that, but he's molding me more to
you're
him.
working on it, yeah.
So I'm trying to bring him over to my side of like, hey, balance, black and white, boundaries, but there is a passion that drives. So I've got one more question for you.
Yes.
Before we let you go, I know
Okay.
we're only getting a quick minute, because she's actually going on stage to be a leader,
I'm a little
as we
nervous,
mentioned.
actually.
I know. This probably doesn't help either, right? I'm putting pressure
Actually,
on
this
you.
does.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Loosen, grease
Yeah,
the
it's like-
wheels,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay, good.
I'm ready.
Okay, what's been the best part about being an accelerator?
Oh,
I know
get to
that's
be
like a
around-
long one.
I get to be around some pretty impressive people and learn so much about them and things I would have never thought, because, I think a lot of times, like, the C-suite and CEOs, you
Yes.
kind of keep your distance from them because
Yes.
you're a little nervous
You're like,
around them.
maybe if I don't talk to them, they'll
Yeah.
like me more. Like, I used to
Yeah,
always
but
have that.
They're just like us. So, we joke, we laugh, and so they have been humanized through this program. For me, they are accessible to me. They've become mentors for me.
Yeah.
I never thought I had a mentor or needed a mentor, but
Right.
now that I have a mentor, I don't know how I went so long in my career without one.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So
I
who's
don't
your
know
mentor?
Hattie Hill.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and I really, really adore her.
Okay, one more before we let you go.
Yeah.
What are you speaking about on stage? Give the listeners who didn't have the opportunity to be here what.
Well, I'm gonna a little bit about this. Like I'll be
Okay.
talking about being a Prosper Accelerator, how
Okay.
it's changed me, what I've learned from it, how has it changed my current organization, culture. I'm just gonna talk about my experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to listen.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some other questions that like throw at me. And
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
Oh gosh, whatever.
I
I'm
know.
a
We'll
big
hopefully
surprise
get some
person.
questions from the crowd.
Okay. Well, I'm a pretty honest person, so I hope if you ask me a
Oh.
question, you better be prepared for the answer.
That's what I like, though. We need more honesty, not less of the.
I'm working on it.
Exactly.
I'm working on it.
Well, good. Well, we're so grateful to have you.
Yes.
Thank you for being
you
on the
for having
Prosper
me.
Brief.
Yeah,
And
I'm glad I did
know
it.
you're going to shine on stage. I can't wait to watch you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. Rae's story of leadership and balance is truly inspiring. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and join us next time for more insights from industry leaders. We'll see you next time here on the Prosper Brief.